name is Paula, and I would really appreciate if we could put away our cell phones and as well turn off all our monitors. And we're going to start with an icebreaker. So what I want you to do is I want you to look at a situation where somebody was empathetic with you, and I also want you to look at a situation when somebody was not empathetic with you. And I want you guys to do it as teams. We're going to do it by rows. And you guys are just going to discuss situations where you felt that somebody was sympathetic with you and then one that somebody was not. And then you'll pick one and you're going to share with the rest of the class. Okay? Alright. So now that we've done our activity and that we've written down and we figured out which one is the one that we picked, let's go ahead and share with the rest of the class. So for you guys, who's going to share with us your empathetic and non-empathetic?
Yeah.
You? Diego. So, all right, we're ready.
All right. So there was this time that I went to McDonald's, and when I got my food, I opened my hamburger because I was going to put a little mayonnaise in it, and I noticed that there was a hair. So I came back with the guy that sold it to me, and I asked him for a change because there was a hair, and he said that he didn't have proof that it wasn't my hair, so that he couldn't change it. And so I got mad, and I called the supervisor. When the supervisor got there, he was really scared because the other guy he wasn't making his job, and he apologized and he gave me a whole new meal.
Thank you for sharing that. So that's an excellent example of being empathetic and non-empathetic. There's definitely all types of people out there in the world, and not everybody manages themselves the same way. This is a really good example because in one same situation, he was able to see both attitudes, right? So he felt it himself. He said, well, first I talked to this person, and this person was like, well, how can I even prove it? This is not my problem. And then somebody that had a little bit more to put out there gave him a whole new meal, understanding that it wasn't fair that he had just paid for that meal and now it had a hair and there was no way that he was going to eat it. So that's a lot like what we do on the phones and in our emails as well. We have to learn how to acknowledge all the side and understand what the guest is going through so we can be empathetic with them. What does this team have to share?
Okay, I'm gonna share a situation with non-empathetic.
Non-empathetic, okay.
I got this friend of mine that she always wanted to be non-fair. So she finally got this thing, and she went with a family in the United States. But this family was like really, I don't know, particular. And she didn't know that the mother was going through depression, and the two girls were having some like learning issues or something like that. The girls were 8 and 12. So when she got there, she got a really bad time. And the mother and the father didn't care about the girls at all. So she was like, okay, can you please tell me what are the habits or the routine that you have with your girls? And they were like, well, actually, we want you to help us with that. So she was like, are you crazy? They're gonna hate me, right? So, but she didn't. And actually, the girls hate my friend, right? Because of that. So they always were mean with my friend. They were like, we don't want you here. And when she served their food, they were like, we don't want to eat it because you touched it, right? So she got really a bad time over there. But she couldn't quit because her father already paid school. So it was a lot of money, so she was not be able to just quit, right, and lose the money. One day she was crying, and the mother came to her room, and she opened the door. She saw her crying, and she said like, Clara, when you finish crying, I need you to do this, and she just closed the door. She didn't care, and she was crying because she had a really bad time with the girls, and the parents didn't help her, and I mean, they didn't care, right? Yeah. So she was not empathetic with her.
Not at all, right?
I was taking care of her daughters, right?
Exactly. So I'm gonna let you share the empathetic one in just a moment, but just going back to that situation where they weren't empathetic. So, of course, empathy is all about going back to the human side of yourself, putting yourself in someone else's shoes. When it's exactly that. She was crying, and she even gave her instructions of what to do after crying, and she completely dismissed her emotional, her emotional situation. So that's a great example of not being empathetic. So thank you for that. And what's the one that we have for empathy?
Yeah, on my previous job, I have a baby daughter. She's 1 year and 3 months old, and at that time she was 8 months or 7. So the Sunday night, she got sick of her stomach and she was really bad. But I had to work next day, right? So I put her with my aunt. She was taking care of her. But I was crying like all day long at my job. I was thinking about her and I didn't know what to do about it. So my boss was really empathetic with me because she got me 2 days off. They were taking out of my vacation. But she was like, you can go ahead and get an early out and you don't have to come tomorrow or the day after tomorrow and take care of your girl. And I really appreciate it because she was really empathetic at that moment with me and with the situation that I was living.
Of course. So that's again an excellent example of being empathetic with somebody. I think that, how many here are parents? Okay. So for the majority knows how it feels to have a child sick, right? And to not be able to be with your loved one and be able to take care of them and to just, calm them down and just be there for them. When you're working, some of those things sometimes are jeopardized because you have to be consistent with your job and responsible. And of course there's these exceptions, when somebody gets sick and you have to be there. And you were lucky. Because not all bosses are like that. Not all bosses put themselves in their agent's shoes, And so that was really great that you had that experience, and thank you for sharing that with us. That's a great example. So let me go over there. So what are you guys gonna start with? Are you gonna start with the empathetic or the non-empathetic? Empathetic. Okay. Start with the positive one.
Yes, start with the positive, please. There was this one point where I was at a border crossing, and it was really hot. Of course, they had 2 gates, and you had to get across the first gate to get to immigration and all that, and get all your papers. It was really hot, and I was walking, and this guy in the vehicle started talking to me. The gate was closed, and he says, I know it's hot and I know everything, and I know that if I was walking, I would want somebody to give me a ride to get across that gate to get to the other side, right? So he says, when the gate opens, you hop on the back of the pickup truck and I'll take you over to the other side, because otherwise it'd be too hard. People were pushing each other and it's hard to get across that border crossing. So at that point, he was being empathetic with me, helping me out.
Of course. Offering you a ride.
Offering me that ride, putting himself in my shoes.
Exactly. That's a great, what you just said about about him putting himself in your shoes. That is empathy. That's like the main essence of empathy, is mirroring yourself in somebody else's situation. Thank you. What's the non-empathetic? Oh, it's also you.
I stand right there. It's just there, but
Okay.
Really? Same thing. Okay, well this is a different situation. Sometimes our brothers or sisters can be a little bit tough on us.
Oh, for sure.
So on one occasion I was talking to my sister about a job offer, and I was telling her, well, they don't offer as much, I'm not going to take it. She said, well, you just take the job. It doesn't matter how much you're getting paid. She's like, because she was focusing on the job itself, not the salary, and I was kind of focused on the salary. And on this occasion, she wasn't putting herself in my footsteps, because she would have also been looking for a better offer and pay and stuff like that, and that was not it.
That wasn't the case, right? So yeah, being able to acknowledge your needs and what you needed to be able for it to be a great job for yourself, yes. Right? So yeah, that's a great example of not being empathetic. So you guys get the idea that how many different ways we can be empathetic and then non-empathetic. There's so many different areas and areas of opportunity. What about you guys? Last but not least.
Well, your story.
Okay. We got one.
Well, the pathetic functions.
Okay.
I was in the university like last year, and I got late to the class, so I didn't got talking very well. So the teacher was explaining this and that. So at the end of the class, I asked help. They helped me understand it because the next day we had a test for them. So they explained it. Like three classmates in on me and explaining all that and talking to himself and then I got the score on the test. It was pathetic.
That was great, yeah. What would have you done if he wouldn't have helped you, right?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we're afraid to ask or ask help. And
That's a really good point, yeah. That's really true. Alright, and what about the non-empathetic one?
The non-empathetic one, and I went to Claro, and I got like TV.
Claro, really? I have one non-empathetic one for Claro too.
I had TV and internet and phone, and I financed a TV. And then I had to move to another house, so I asked them, can it be installed? And they told me no, but you only switch to satellite. I said okay. So I moved, and after I moved, I went to Claro, and why aren't you putting my satellite on? No, you have to cancel the TV, you have to cancel the contract, and then you can switch to satellite. I went 10 times to ask, but they never told me that.
I know that feeling very well. I actually went through that same experience. Thank you very much for participating. So, now that we've heard everybody's experiences, the different experiences with empathy and non-empathy, if we take a real look at it, you can really see that in life itself, there's a lot of situations where we're going to find ourselves with people, well, all the time. But the question is the type of people that we're going to approach and the type of people that are going to be in our life. It doesn't really make a person bad or not, or good, being empathetic or not. Sometimes we're not aware that we have a non-empathetic attitude and it just kind of pops out naturally. So why I wanted you guys to share personal experiences, because empathy starts in you. It starts with actually analyzing it for yourself. The only way that we can really talk about empathy is if we take it to a personal situation in which you've been affected by it. With that said, I want you guys to watch this video. It's pretty entertaining. It's a Dexter video. Are you guys familiar with Dexter?
yes.
Okay. All right. So let's see what Dexter is about.
Dexter.
Oh no, it's Dexter.
That guy is awesome. I always watch that show.
Okay.